Hey everyone, Nariman here, welcome to my channel. Today we want to talk about IntelliJ's refactoring tools. Previously I made another video about IntelliJ on how I use IntelliJ shortcuts to make myself more productive. If you haven't watched it yet, I will put it up there, so make sure to watch that one as well. But this video is mainly about refactoring tools of IntelliJ IDEA. Sometimes it happens that you wrote some code, and when you look back at it, you want to rename some stuff, you want to move things around, or let's say you want to group a bunch of variables and methods into a new class. And applying these changes can be really painful sometimes because they are already used everywhere. And when you, let's say, change the name of the method or change the signature of it, you need to go everywhere that it was used and change there as well. Luckily these days, modern IDEs have lots of refactoring tools, so it's better to learn how to use them. I divided this video into 5 parts. At first we will look on some basic stuff like how to rename things, how to move things around, how to extract a method from already existing code, how to change signature of a method, stuff like this. And in the last part I will talk to you about code inspection tools. I will specifically recommend you to watch that part because they are very handy. Let's say you want to scan your whole project for certain code smells or find some deprecated code, or let's say some dead code or unused variables. IntelliJ can easily run those inspections for you. So please be with me in the next few minutes so I can show you how these refactoring tools works. Okay, so I created a class here with some code in it so we can run our refactoring tools and see how will they work. This class is called circle. It has everything that a circle needs to have, like the property called radius, one constructor that basically just receive radius as a parameter and then set it on the property. It has 2 methods called getArea and getCircumference for some calculations, one getter method, and then a toString method that has all the information as a string here. So the first refactoring tool that I want to talk to you about is pretty simple. It's for renaming. Let's say I want to rename this getArea method to calculate area. And then you can see that, for example, when I change the name here, of course, there are some usages that are not still affected. So this is not the best option to just rename the method and then go for all the usages and rename them one by one. So what I can do here is, let's go back. What I can do instead is to go here or even here on the usage, it doesn't matter. I can do a right click, refactor, and at the top I can choose rename. And then I can easily just rename my method. And you can see that the change is applied everywhere. So let's also, for example, rename this method, refactor, and then rename. And then I can just easily rename it. All of these, of course, have their own shortcuts, but I want to just focus on the refactoring tools themselves. You can just look it up and see what's the shortcut and then use that if it suits you. Okay, so the next thing would be extracting and inlining. This can be used at the variable level or method level or any other level. We just want to see how we can use it. Let's have a look at this number, for example. It's the famous pi number, and we already used it twice, once here and the other time here. And overall, it's not a good practice to have these literals just like without a variable, especially if it's used more than once. So what I can do here is to right click on it, go to refactor again, and we have some option here like introduce field, introduce constant, introduce variable. But what I want to do here is to make this pi number a constant variable. So I will click on it, and then I can name it. Usually we name constants like completely uppercase. So I will choose pi. And you can see that now up there in our class, we have a pi variable, which is defined as a static final, and it has the value that we wanted. And we can also change it here to use the same. And this can be done also for methods. So let's say, for example, we have here 2 times radius, and this is basically calculating the diameter of the circle. So I would say, let's extract a method here and have a method called, let's say, get diameter. I can do this by right click on this, choose refactor again, and you can see there is an extract method. So I can click on it, name it get diameter, and then here we go, we have this method. So this was extracting, and there is another tool exactly the opposite called inlining. Inlining is the process of replacing the code with what it's made of. For example, if you want to inline a variable, you are just replacing it with what it contains. And when you want to inline a method, you are just replacing it with the actual body of the method. Let's say here we are seeing get diameter method is not needed anymore. It's just used once, and it doesn't make that much sense. We are saying that we want to inline this method. I can just right click on the usage of the method, let's say, and then you can see there is an option called inline method. And if I click on it, it asks me what you want to do with the actual method called get diameter. And I would choose here inline it all and remove the actual method. So when I press refactor, you can see that the method is gone and the usage of the method is replaced by the body of it. Okay, the next one is also a very simple one. Sometimes you want to move things around, and just copying and pasting the stuff is just too time consuming, because the property or the method that you want to move from this class or this file to another file also has some usages. So by cutting it from this file and just pasting it to another file won't solve your problem, because you still need to take care of all the usages. What I want to do here is to move this pi variable. This constant, let's say, doesn't belong in the circle class. I want to have like a mass utils class, for example, and then move this constant there. So what I can do here is, let me just first create a class called mass utils. And then if you just cut this variable, putting it here, you can see that there are some related problems. And it's because it was used here and also here. So I need to now take care of all of these. And it can be like 100 usages, you never know. In like big projects, just touching some code would cause lots of problems. So what I can do instead is, let me go back with these changes. I can right click on it, again go to refactor, and this time I will choose move members. And then I can just say I want to move this field to mass utils class. And then I will press refactor, and you can see that not even it was moved here, it would also resolve all the usages. Now it's massutils.py here and also here. So this one is very simple, but also very handy. And now I want to talk to you about changing signatures. There is also a refactoring tools in IntelliJ that you can easily change signatures. And if you want to do this yourself, of course, again, you have to take care of all the method calls that were using the old signature, and you need to change them to use the new signature. But with this trick, you can be much more productive. Let me just define a new method. Let's say here, radius times radius. We can say that this is like exponentiation, and the base is of course radius, and the exponent is 2. So let me just create a new method here called power public static double. Let's call it power. And I don't want to actually implement this. I just want to delegate this to mass class in Java. So I will say return mass dot POW and then pass the base and exponent to it. So I just want to create a new method and show you how we can change its signature. Let's use this method here. Instead of this, we would say massutils power radius, and the exponent would be 2. And here it's better to have this as double, of course. And let's see, this one should be double, is better. Let's say after a while that I use this method everywhere, I found out that I just need to get the square of the number, and I actually don't need this exponent. So if I remove it now and then replace this exponent with 2, you can see that all the usages here would be with error. So what I can do is to go back. I can click here on power and then go to refactor again, and you can see there is a option called change signature. I will click on that, and here basically I can do everything. I can change the return type, I can change the visibility, I can change the name of the method, and I can also modify the parameters. I will change the name to a square, and then also I will go to the second parameter. I don't want to rename them or change the type, but this is also possible. I just want to remove it, so I will click on this, remove, and then I will click on the refactor. It will warn me that this exponent was used in the body. For now it's okay. I will say refactor anyway. Then I will change this exponent to 2. And let's go to the circle class, and you can see that IntelliJ easily took care of it and replaced all the usages with the new signature. So this one, again, in the huge code bases, when you want to change some method which is used a lot, is a lifesaver. So I would suggest to definitely use that whenever it comes handy. So as I said, for the last part, I would talk about code inspections. You can just ask for the inspection that you want. It can be find some dead code or some deprecated code, and IntelliJ will search for it in your whole code base and then just report it to you. To use it, you need to go over to the menu, choose code, and then analyze code, And then you can see here there is a run inspection by name. It has its own shortcut as well. You can learn it if you want. I will just click on it, and then you can just search by name. For example, I want to find all the unused variables and unused methods, so I can just search for unused declarations. And you can see the second one, which is for Java. I can select that. Then I can choose where to search. I would just use the default, which is like the whole project and the whole classes and files. Let's see. You can see that in circle, I have two unused methods. One is the constructor itself. The other one is the getRadius. To see all the inspections, we can again go to the menu, choose settings, and then here we can search for inspections, and you can see all the inspections here. As you can see, we can even create some inspections ourselves and then ask for IntelliJ to search for it, but I'm not going to talk about it today. As you can see, we have lots of inspections. In the general category, there are lots of it. For Java, there are lots of it. And we can even search here. For example, if I search deprecated, you can see that for Java, you can find all the deprecated codes. Let's say you are working with some third-party libraries and they deprecated some methods. So you can run these inspections more often and then move on to the new versions of the APIs. There is also a very cool inspection called, if I'm not mistaken, suspicious name convention. Yeah, suspicious variable parameter name combination. Let's say you have a variable called name, and then you are passing it to a parameter called address. So it looks suspicious and probably something is wrong. This inspection will find these cases and it will warn you about them. So this is a very useful tool. I would suggest that you take your time and you can search a little bit and see what inspections are there, and then let's say run a few of them on your code base and you will find some interesting refactoring areas. Okay guys, so that was it. Some of these tools are very trivial. Some of them, like the code inspections, are a little bit more advanced. Overall, I would suggest to use them all. In large code bases, not using these tools would make your life much harder. Also, please let me know in the comments if you are using any other refactoring tools inside IntelliJ that I'm not aware of. As always, if you enjoyed watching this video, please push the like button and also subscribe me. See you around.